I wasn't looking for a dog. I was looking for a moment, a little joy to hand my children, a small act of mercy at the Humane Society, where we'd go to love on animals who'd forgotten what affection feels like. And then came Bruce. Big, black and white, and blue eyes like the sky remembering how to be kind. 4 years old, 4 years loved by someone else. Someone who had since left this world. When I heard that his owner had passed, something in me went quiet. Not from sadness, but from the sense that heaven had just opened a page. Because I realized this wasn't random. This was continuation. Scripture says he predestined us for adoption to sonship through Jesus Christ. That day in the shelter wasn't chance. It was chapter 2. God was still writing Bruce's story. He just began a new chapter. See, God doesn't replace. He redeems. He doesn't erase the first story. He expands it. Bruce's first human loved him into being. I was simply called to love him into belonging. It mirrors how heaven adopts us. Not as blank slates, but as creatures with history, memory, and longing. When God took me in, he didn't pretend that I hadn't belonged elsewhere. He said, bring your past. I can hold that too. That's the pattern of heaven. When one love fulfills its purpose, God anoints another to carry it forward. He's not done. He's just writing through new hands. Love after loss isn't replacement. It's redemption. Dogs grieve just like we do. When they lose their person, their oxytocin drops, their cortisol spikes, their bodies ache for safety. And when a new human arrives, consistent tone, predictable rhythm, gentle eyes, their nervous system begins to remap trust. It's called attachment repair. It's biology performing resurrection. Bruce's loyalty to me isn't betrayal of the one before. It's his brain saying it's safe to love again. So when he lays his head on my lap and sighs, that's theology, not just thermal regulation. Sometimes I still wonder, did he love them more? Did he dream of their scent for a while before he learned mine? And then Spirit whispers, you weren't meant to compete with what was. You were chosen to continue what began. Because love isn't measured in comparison. It's measured in capacity. And real healing doesn't divide affection. It multiplies it. 4 years before me, 2 years with me, and he's 6 years old today. 4 means creation, 2 means covenant, and 6 is embodiment. Foundation, union, embodiment. It's the whole gospel in pause and presence. He lived, he lost, he loved again. It's not coincidence. It's creation complete. a resurrection story on 4 legs. Maybe that's why shepherds kept dogs. Not just for herding, but for hearting. They listen for tone more than words. They obey through attunement, not analysis. When Christ said, "My sheep hear my voice," he was describing resonance. Bruce knows my voice, not because it's loud, but because it's his. If the gospel had a bark, it would sound like this. Love can be lost, but not ended. Safety can be shaken, but not destroyed. Home can die, but be reborn in another heart. Sometimes it looks like a shelter cage swinging open, a second chance wagging its tail, and a woman realizing that God had just handed her a sermon on a leash. Maybe that's the whole point of adoption, to show that love never dies. It just changes hands until it's finished its work. Bruce was loved once. Now he's loved still. And somewhere I imagine his first human smiling down from the cloud of witnesses, grateful that their beloved found safe arms again. Because that's how God writes. Not with a period, but with a promise. That's how heaven works. The story continues. Grace finds another home. Behold, I make all things new. So maybe the question isn't, what have you lost? Maybe it's, what story has God invited you to continue? Because that's where the theology hides. In second homes, second chances, and the quiet, wag-tailed miracles that remind us love always comes back around. And sometimes it's wearing fur. Be loved and be loved, beloved.